everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today let's get into a video all about making some shower steamers that are absolutely perfect for the winter coming months in Australia. All you need to do is pop them on the ground in your shower and that gorgeous eucalyptus will just come through, and I'm sure then you'll love it because it will just clear up the nose. So we're going to start with some bicarbonate soda. So inside my bucket here, I do have a little sifter because we want to sift all the bicarbonate soda. So I'm going to be doing a 1 kilogram mix in here. And there's lots of ways to actually make shower steamers. Honestly, you can just use bicarbonate soda, citric acid and water. That's all you need to use, but mine, I always add a tiny bit of oil in. I just think it makes a much better steamer, and of course I use witch hazel and some other products as well. But in here, like I said, I'm going to be adding in all of my ingredients, so let's get going. So basically you want your citric acid to be about 40% of what the bicarbonate soda is that you use, and I will pop down the recipe in Patreon. So if you want the recipe, just go over there. All you need to do is join over there from as little as $7.50, and then you can get my recipes, my blogs, and lots of chats that we go over there and talk about as well. So like I said, we're going to sift it all into our bucket in here. That just makes it really silky smooth. So, don't put your citric acid in either until we get to the end, because we don't want to activate it, and that can definitely happen. Also, make sure your humidity is really good. You want your humidity to be under 50. So we're going to add in some white kaolin that you can see here. So let's just pop in 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on how much you're making. Kaolin clay can actually help with the hardening process, but you do need cream of tartar. Kaolin clay on its own is not good enough unless you are using cups and cups of it. So I definitely suggest that you use cream of tartar in conjunction, obviously, with kaolin clay and all the gorgeous things that we're going to add into here. Now, do remember, shower steamers are not to be used in the bath. They are very, very high in essential oils, which is not suitable to bathe in. It is only suitable to sit on the shower floor as well. And some people, if you have sensitive skin, this may react. So please be careful when you're selling your shower steamers, because even if they're sitting on the floor, well, it's going to melt and your feet might be standing there having a shower. So if somebody had really sensitive skin, it may actually react. So you do need to think about those things. So now, like I said, we've popped in some kaolin clay. Now let's use some cream of tartar. Basically, if you're adding cream of tartar, a couple tablespoons, it really hardens up, it will harden up and stop these going powdery. And also, it's the same sort of process. If you're doing bath bombs, make sure you're using cream of tartar. When I first started, I just didn't realize the importance of it, but it really does keep to give you an amazing shower steamer in the end. Now, if you haven't gone over to my social media, make sure you pop over to Instagram and see all my amazing reels, and we would love to see you there. So make sure you go and follow me over there, and of course, make sure you subscribe to YouTube so you can see all my amazing content. So now we're going to be popping in some blueberry powder. And if you go to a health food store, and those sort of stores that ground down different products, you'll see like pomegranate powder, blueberry powder, beetroot powder. There's so many different ones that can sort of help just give a bit of colorant that's more natural than all of the synthetics. I do use micas as well, but for this one, we're not going to use that. We are just going to put in this tiny weeny little bit of blueberry powder. And I was very excited to see this one. So now, like I said, we're just popping it in here, and any granules that you have left in your sifter, just chuck those in the bin, because you don't want those. They can leave little lumps and bumps on the sides of your shower steamers. So now we're just popping, my little container down just so that we can get a better view of everything down in front of us here. So now here we go. We've just, like I said, got everything everything in it. And, you know, usually I would actually be putting this in a stand mixer, but I wanted to show everyone that may not have one of those that you can definitely do this. Now, we need some Polysorbate 80. Look, if you really only need to use this if you're using micas and things like this, but I always put it in just to be sure, because I would just absolutely hate someone to have a problem. Now, some people don't like to use Polysorbate 80, and that's okay as well, but it is really just does help disperse all oils or anything like that. So that's why I choose to use it. I'm sorry you can hear my little dogs in the background, but I've just popped them outside for a little bit. So now let's go and put in the eucalyptus oil. So here is the eucalyptus oil, which is an essential oil we're popping in. And I'm probably sure you can say, you know, you would have seen that and thought, oh my goodness, look how much there is. Now in shower steamers, you put a lot in. It's usually about 5%, or some people put more of it in than that. But obviously, if this was to go into a bath bomb, you cannot use 5%. 1% is the very most that you would use in products, and I definitely do not use eucalyptus oil into my bath bombs, so I only use it in shower steamers. Now let's just mix everything together, and once we've got all this in together, we are going to add in some water as well. In mine, as I said earlier, I also do add a tiny little bit of oil, 1 or 2 tablespoons, but you don't have to do that. You can just add water if you want. And remember, we are not adding the citric acid yet. We'll do that at the end as well. So now, like I said, let's just add all of this in and make this really gorgeous. So make sure you rub it in your hands and do it super well, because that way it will get a smooth shower steamer. Now with my shower steamers, I just make them really organic and just as they come. I don't try and make any effort to make them super smooth like I would for a bath bomb, because it is a shower steamer. It's just going to go on the ground, so it doesn't really matter as much. So now I'm using witch hazel. You will need anything up to 25 sprays of witch hazel. It really will depend on your shower steamers. So just remember that, you know, you just want the right consistency. You want it a little bit wetter than a bath bomb, but very similar, but just a little bit wetter, because that way it will go super hard, and that's what you want, especially if you're going to be selling them to stores. Now keep watching to the end of the video, because I do show you how I package mine up, and I've actually started changing them, popping them in a box, which looks really nice, and then they'll be gorgeous to get ready and sell in stores. Do remember as well, you do need to wear gloves doing this, not just for sanitary reasons, but also for your own hands, because you're going to be using really high contents of essential oils, and especially eucalyptus oil would definitely burn your hands or sting any cuts or anything you have on your hands. So please make sure you wear gloves all the time, which I'm sure you would anyway. And I'm just, you know, remeasuring everything, and my studio at the moment feels like it is so crazy, busy, messy with bath bomb mixture on everything, but I assure you I clean everything, sanitize it all before I start. But, you know, making bath bombs or shower steamers is messy business. So now we're just going to put in the citric acid, and as I said, you know, usually with the citric acid it's about 40% of the bicarbonate soda. So if you're going to be putting in, for instance, 600 grams of bicarb, then you would use 400 grams of citric acid. So it's as simple as that. And then, of course, we're going to go back and mix it all up as well. It is better to put your citric acid through a sifter as well, so that you get any lumps and bumps out. And I buy all of my bicarb and citric acid from N Essentials in Australia. It is definitely more expensive, but I just find it to be a much smoother, better quality product. So not all is equal when you're using all of these things. So now you can see I have a spa cup. When I actually make mine, I literally just press them into a spa teacup. They're just plastic ones that I have got from Aussie Candle Supplies. And then once I press them all in there, Then I just turn them out onto a board. It's really, really simple. So I'm just going to show you here how I do mine, and I just give it a little bit of a squeeze. So just rub it on the board to make it flat, and then a bit of a squeeze, and you can see that I don't try and make them perfect. There's one little bit here or there missing. Don't worry about that. I mean, take a good look at Lush. Make sure they do all organic products, and that way they don't have to get them super smooth every time, which is a very, very clever business model, I think. But like I said, it's a shower steamer. It doesn't need to be amazingly perfect like a bath bomb. So we're just going to put them all on the tray, and then I usually leave them for 24 hours, and then I'll come back the next day to shrink wrap them. Even if you're going to try and go to as less plastic as you can, which I'm trying to do, you still need to shrink wrap these, because if you don't, then they'll go powdery. They really need to be in an airtight place. So here they are. I have finished them all up. Look how gorgeous they're all looking. And now let's get on to the next bit. So it is the next day, and here is my shrink wrapping machine. We've turned it on, turned the dial on, and it is a massive roll that I get from Heirloom in Australia, and I really love the roll. It's very, very good, and I've had it for well over a year and a half, I think now. So now, like I said, we're just going to shrink all of these first. Once I've done that, then we're going to, of course, get the heat gun and just seal the bags. So here they are before I get the heat gun on top of them. Now, let's get and package them up. So we've sealed all of the shower steamers. I'm sorry if I said bath bombs. They are shower steamers. And now I've got these little boxes. These are just 120-gram boxes for tin candles, and they fit 2 of my steamers perfectly in them. So I put one at the bottom, and then I just get a little piece of foam in the middle of them, 2 of them, to just make sure they're not touching each other, because for freight, it just keeps them better. I'm going to close up the box, and then I have actually made these beautiful labels. Now, I spent a lot of time on Canva and Cricut making these labels to make sure they fit. So on one side, which is at the front, it will show what it is. It will have the weight and so on. And then at the back of it, it will have all the ingredients, warnings, and so on, as well as, you know, the beautiful pattern template that I've made on these ones as well. And then I just wrap them over, you know, 3 sides of the box, and look how gorgeous they are. So they are ready to be shipped and to be used. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Bye everyone.